Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm changing up the layout of my van, somewhat. Well, I was in bed and the tornado siren started going off. So I've had a pretty productive morning this morning. Even though I got up a little later than I wanted to, I got out here and cleaned up the van a little bit, cleaned up all the clutter that I had collecting, and it don't take long to collect a lot of stuff in the van with it being such a tiny space. But I cleaned all that up and got out here and I actually made my bed and swept and mopped the floor. Now when I say mop the floor, I got out here on my hands and knees and just used a rag to clean it. With it being such a small space, it don't take long. In last week's video, I mentioned that I was struggling with what to start next, and I think I figured it out, but there's going to be a change to my layout. So let me flip the camera around real quick and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So it's not going to be that big of a deal. When I was on my trip to Arizona, I realized that I need cabinets up here for more storage, so they'll start back behind this seat and go all the way to the back of the van. Over here above my bed is where I'll store my clothes, and then I'll use these cabinets above the kitchen counter as a pantry. So that's one thing that I'm changing. I'm not working on that particular project today because that's going to be quite a big project. What I'm going to be working on today is this area right here. I have this bench seat temporarily in here, and it's got storage up underneath it. So that's where I've been storing a bunch of things. And I've really liked having this here. I can sit on it and sit up straight, and I don't have to be hunched over like I am with sitting on my bed. I was going to put another cabinet here, but I've decided, since I've had this in here, I've decided that I want to build a permanent one and have a bench seat right here instead of a cabinet. Another thing that I've decided to change up is the drawer area. I was using those baskets in there, but again, on this trip, I realized that those were going to be more of a pain than they're worth. They're very tightly fit in there and they're difficult to get out. So I'll be building new drawers for all three of those areas. And then I obviously need to get the doors built on this cabinet. So those are the main things that I'm going to be changing up. It's not a huge layout difference, but I think that this will be a whole lot better when I start traveling full time. The things that I'm going to be working on today are the doors for underneath the sink and the bench seat that's right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on those. Alright, so here's where I'm at so far on the doors. I'm at a little bit of a standstill because actually neither one of the nail guns that I have out here are working. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what's going on with those. But I went ahead and cut some trim pieces for the doors so that it doesn't just look like a flat piece of wood on there. Make it look a little nicer, I guess. So I need the nail guns to use some finished nails to nail those down, and then I can paint them. I'm going to paint them white, and then I've got some black handles for them. I think it's going to look really good once I'm able to get it done. And on another note, I've been watching the weather today, and they are saying that we could get severe storms tonight with 80 to 110 mile an hour winds. That would be crazy. So I've never been through anything like that. I don't think I've ever been through any winds like that before, much less in a van. So I'm definitely gonna be out in my van tonight, and we'll see how it goes. I'll be sure to film it if anything crazy happens. So once I'm able to get the nail gun done, I'll get those doors completed. I'm probably gonna go ahead and sand them down real quick, then get the trim pieces nailed down, and then I can paint them. Well, I was in bed and the tornado siren started going off. I can barely hear them right now, but I guess I'll go inside the house and see what's going on. Okay, well, I was gonna go in, but I think I'm just gonna keep an eye on the weather and see what happens. I don't know if you remember several videos back, we had a tornado warning and there was an audible siren of someone saying that there's a tornado warning, and I heard that one too. So
50 miles an
so
hour.
I'm watching
It'll basically go
the weather
about
on my
this
phone.
far. Yeah, every crossing Highway 51, probably right around, I would say, 385th East Avenue. Looks like that's where the main circulation would be. Again, we do not have a confirmed tornado, but we do have a pretty good chance that we're not too far from a tornado. If it isn't a tornado, there could be some wind damage right in there. The turnpike and moving northeast, so there's still a bit of a couplet looking area here, and then as well, we're looking at it again. It's just to the north of Vaughn. Doesn't as tight as it was just a little bit ago, but there's still some wind. So there will be winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour.
Dang, I was sleeping so good too. I think the sirens are still going off. I live outside of town, so I can just hear them off in the distance, but I think I still hear them. I'm still under a tornado warning, but I think it's gonna pass me. Yep, the wind's picked up. See if I can open this door without getting too wet. Well, that was about enough. My bed's getting wet.
It's literally just canceled as of right now. The strong wind damage.
They canceled the tornado warning.
Very high.
Sounds like the rain is dying down a little bit, so I think I'm going to go back to bed. Good night, and I will see you tomorrow. right, so I got the frame done and I like it for the most part. I'm gonna have plywood along the back, and then I'm gonna have a table that flips up to the outside back here. And then I'm gonna be obviously putting plywood on the sides and the front, and painting it white to make it look nice. And I've got the cushion and everything. I came out here, I brought the cushion out to test everything out, and I made this a little high. I was talking to my dad, and I was gonna make it 15 inches tall, but he was afraid that that was gonna be too short, so we bumped it up to 17 inches. But when I put the cushion on it and sat down and sat all the way back, my feet barely touched the ground. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and bump that down to 15 inches. And I think that'll be a whole lot better. I'm not gonna do that tonight because I'm running out of time, and this project took me a little longer than I wanted it to, so I've got to get this posted tomorrow, so I'm not going to have time to lower that tonight, but that'll probably be in the next video where I get that lowered. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go see if the cabinet doors are dry, and then I can attach those to the cabinet. Now, if the other side will just line up perfectly, I'll be good. All right, so if I sound a little funny, it's because I'm using my GoPro right now. My regular camera died. But I've got the doors done. I had to do a little bit of adjusting. I had to move this left door over a little bit, and then this door, well, let me open it and show you. So you can see that I had to add an extra board in here, and I had to do that on this side as well. I originally had this new board on the inside here, and I realized that that was wrong, so I had to take that off and move it over here to the side. And I was afraid, when I moved it over, I was afraid that it wouldn't be center, because I want the center of the doors to be in the middle of the sink. But I think it lines up pretty good. These doors definitely turned out a lot better than I thought they were going to. When I was in the middle of the building them, I was thinking, I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna look, but for this being my first time ever making cabinet doors, I'm very happy with it. I like the way they look. Well, I think that's where I'm gonna end it this week. I'm very anxious to get that bench seat completed. The cushion seat, I'm gonna have it to where I can lift it up, and I've got a couple of ideas for what I can put underneath the seat. And I'm excited to get started on that as well. Now, don't hold me to this, but I think I'm gonna be working on my window coverings next week. I'm very excited for that. I actually went and got way too much of this, but I went and got some Reflectix that I can use for the window coverings. I'm trying to decide the design of the window coverings that I want. I know that I want the outside to be black, but the inside, I don't know if I want that to be black or not. I think I want to do some kind of a design on it to make it look a little nicer on the inside of the van. But I don't know, I may just do black and see how it looks. I guess we'll find out. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next Tuesday.